Hello and welcome to the Maulian is here for today's brand new Water 1.30 full release update is now coming out. On this week's update, I will show you all of the changes, fixes, and more of this about this update. Let's go on to it. Now, we're starting first is verticality retracting waterlog blocks with a piston no longer creates ghost water on the client. All logs, stripped logs, woods, and stripped woods are now treated consistently across various scenarios. Flying mobs that can land on trees will now recognize these blocks as susceptible landing positions. Parrots will now prefer these blocks as landing spots. Previously, these behaviors applied to only a subset of these blocks. Parrots now imitate endermites. It's because the parrots they can imitate the endermites. Kelp can no longer be placed on any type of fence instead of just a subset of them. Seagrass can no longer be placed on any type of fence instead of just a subset of them. And turtle eggs can no longer be placed on any type of fence instead of just a subset of them. Purpur Block is now split into unique instances like Purpur Block and Purpur Pillar. The previously unused chiseled and smooth Purpur blocks were renamed to deprecated Purpur Block 1 and deprecated Purpur Block 2 for backwards compatibility. Cobblestone wall block is now split into unique instances in the modes of following. Granite wall, diorite wall, andesite wall, stone brick wall, mossy stone brick wall, and prismarine wall now have a destruction time of 1.5. Sandstone wall and red sandstone wall now have a destruction time of 0.8. And stone brick wall now has a destruction time of 3.0. When crafting a firework, adding or removing items from the grid will update the output temp appropriately. Added Q and E as left and right click equivalents in JSON UI menus, including inventory menus when playing in full keyboard gameplay mode. The biomes effect can now be reset by triggering an ominous bottle of any levels. Boats will no longer disappear while sliding on ice or water. Fixed a crash that could occur when opening a Lectern while a sticky piston was moving it. The Lectern now closes the book screen when moved. Dismounting a vehicle no longer puts the player inside the ground on some platforms. Fixed an issue where banners were rendered before other transparent objects regardless of their positions. Each banner pattern item now includes their pattern type in their name instead of a subtitle. Smithing template items are now named after their template type instead of the generic smithing template name. They instead specify that they are a smithing template through a subtitle in the hover text. Unique item textures have been given to each banner pattern item to better distinguish between each other. Beds in intersections now have their colors randomized. Replace the empty chest at the entrance of chamber with a hopper and barrel to better show the players that these are meant to disposal and inventory management. Fixed multiple trial chamber templates have missing or incorrect block. Some slime trial spawners in trial chambers won't spawn slimes without player intervention. Fixed ominous vote may fail to generate and pedestal and chamber 1/2. Fix a bug where player health will be rounded down instead of rounded up, causing the HUD to sometimes only show empty health icons. Entities falling into water now make the same splashing sound as in Java Edition. Improved new D-pad for touch controls. It is now more compact, includes backstraping buttons and a slightly extended zone outside where camera input is not received in order to prevent unexpected camera movement. When customizing controls, the diagonal buttons are visible as well. Fixed a bug where hide HUD command would not hide the D-pad touch control. Fixed a bug where a standalone scaffolding block could not be placed on top of the structure block. Snow golems with fire resistance no longer take damage in warm biomes. Uncarved pumpkin blocks can no longer be used to create snow golems and other golems. When an item is enchanted, their rarity status is now increased depending on their base rarity. If the base rarity of an item is common or uncommon, it will become rare when enchanted. If the base rarity of an item is rare, it will become epic when enchanted. If the base rarity of an item is epic, it will stay epic when enchanted. Various items and blocks have had their assigned rarities changed. Rarity is a set of categories which determine the color used to display the name of an item or block. It has no gameplay impact, but is used to signal how difficult something is to obtain. By default, unless specified otherwise, all items and blocks have a rarity of common which displays their name in the color white. We have reevaluate the rarity of all items and blocks in the game to more accurately reflect the current challenge of obtaining them, giving the following guidelines. Items and blocks become rarer depending on the following factors: the chance of finding it in a loot table, including mob drops, the amount of traveling required to obtain it, the difficulty of any obstacle which must be overcome to obtain it, the possible amount of that item or block which exists in the world. Any item or block which can be crafted must inherit the highest rarity of its crafting ingredients. For example, a mace has an epic rarity because one of its ingredients, the heavy core, has an epic rarity. Likewise, any crafting item which has only common crafting ingredients must be common. The list below detail the items and blocks which have changed to that rarity category. Here is the list of all rarities. Spawns block is now split into unique instances like spawns and wet spawns. Colored torch block instances, colored torch RG and colored torch PP are now split into unique instances in most filing. Added all parameter to /reload command. This causes players to quit the world and rejoin, as well as reloading all behavior and resource packs. Added new experimental field item specific speeds to Minecraft destructible by mining block component. Fix it the collision safe for trial spawners. It is now the same size as an ordinary block. Added a new dead message for when players are defeated by a Mace smash attack. Enchantments, which only have one possible level, no longer display their level I in their name. The names of many items and blocks were brought to parity with Java Edition. The following list details the old names to the left and the new names to the right. The name of the Stone Manson villager profession has been renamed to Manson to match Java Edition. Mooshrooms now spawn at light level 9 and above. Added a button in the game menu to take a screenshot. You can view your screenshot in the screenshot gallery on your profile page. TNT block is now split into unique instances like TNT and the underwater TNT for Education Edition. Hashing Blocks.json now produces a content error if its format underscore version is greater or equal than the block names it overrides. Fixed an issue where and gateway portals could teleport some players incorrectly. This last camera set command will now run in the correct order when an existing camera interpolation is running. Fixed block items turning into an incorrect variant when importing worlds older than 1.5.0. For Education Edition, fixed material reducer recipes not working with some flattened blocks such as andesite or terracotta. The priest no longer has a minimum distance required to attack a target. Another one for Education Edition set. Chemistry table has been split into 4 unique instances such as Compound Creator, Material Reducer, Element Constructor, and the Lab table. Carrots now imitate drought. When mining top snow with the Silk Tots enchanted shovel, top snow is now dropped in an amount corresponding to the number of layers of the block. If there are 8 layers, a snow block will be dropped instead. Skull charged particles now have sound. Wither Skeleton now has its own step sound. Players can now craft 2 cyan dial from 1 pitcher plant. Basalt deltas now have a moody ambient sound again. The following block names are now considered outdated in Blocks.json from format underscore version 1.12.1.30 onward. Here is a list that was been considered outdated. Foxes now have 10 health. Villagers no longer make idle sounds when sleeping. And never miss for the rest of the fixes, all of these changes as well. And don't miss to read on the changelog is down below. And thank you so much for watching everyone. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next to the video.